Are y'all ready to have some fun? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live. The show will begin shortly. Thanks for joining us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to
Yeah.
Carolyn's Corner Live. It's like, surprise! I should have given you a little warning, like, here I come. Da-da-da, da-da. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're all here on Carolyn's Corner Live tonight, as I am every week. I'm so thrilled to be here, and I'm especially excited tonight. I almost said excited, like my grandson used to say, because my co-host Paul is back. Hey, Paul Gallagher.
How are you doing
Hey, Paul.
today?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad you're here, Paul. I always have so much fun when Paul's here. I love it when you're here, honey. So, as those of you that may not know, this is my co-host Paul Gallagher. He comes as often as he can. Hello, Miss Sarah. Thank you for testing everything for me. It looks like it's working. So, Paul and everyone else out there, I'm excited to introduce our guest tonight, as like I am every week. Tonight we got a great guy all the way from Plano, Texas. And I don't mean like plain old Texas. No, nothing about Texas is plain. Okay, maybe that was pretty clever. I just came up with that. But this is Mr. Gary D. Ward. Hey, Gary, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That
Hope y'all
is,
are all right. I appreciate being here.
oh, you're so welcome. I'm excited about
You're
having you
very
on. I know
welcome.
you've got some great music. Robert Garcia. Hi, Robert. And I believe Robert told me about you, Gary. There's so many people. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, oh, did you? I don't remember. But I'm glad you're here, Robert. Robert was on our show also. Great guest. Great
Yeah,
guest.
great singer, great songwriter,
Yes, he really, really is.
and just a spectacular musician. The guy plays everything.
I know. It blew my mind how amazingly
Yeah,
talented he was. I mean, we've gotten so many talented people on this show. And you realize quickly, don't you, Paul, how much talent is out there, right, Paul?
Yeah, it's really it's crazy that when we first started this, I wasn't expecting a lot of people, and man, we have received so many people. We got so many people on the show with different genre and different variations to their music. We've had comedy, we've had jazz, we've had, I mean, everything. Rock, we've even had rock.
Yeah, the only thing we haven't had yet is rap, and I have a feeling that's coming.
yeah.
I have a feeling, right, Paul? It's been really amazing.
Hard to
Just
get
a,
away from it these days.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It really is great. And if you don't know Gary, Paul has been my co-host since day one. He's actually an author, but now he's writing songs and he's learned how to play guitar pretty darn well, I have to say. So I'm very
Yeah.
impressed because he saw just how many people were writing songs, and he's like, you know what? I can write books. I can write a song. And I think you've written how many songs now? Three, four, five?
5.
That's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. Pretty
Well,
impressive.
songs are stories.
They sure are. And you know all about that, don't you, Gary? That being said, Gary, why don't you introduce yourself, Gary, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And by the way, welcome to everyone. Don't forget to comment in the comment sections from where you are, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or even Twitch, and ask any questions you'd like, make any comments. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. Well, I'm Gary Ward, and you can find me on YouTube and Spotify and Amazon Music and probably some other places under Gary D. Ward. And I had to put the D in there because there's so many Gary Wards out there. I was getting confused with baseball players and pilots and, all kinds of different people. So
Yeah.
I just started using the D in my online music stuff. By the way, just a quick note, I had a conversation briefly in Messenger with Robert today. And
Nice.
Robert knows my two brothers that live down in Corpus. They used to work together at Minger Olds. So that's a small world there.
Come on. That's crazy, isn't it? Thank you,
Yeah.
Paul. Paul
Well,
is so, Paul sent me a link already. He's that quick. Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
I'm originally from Corpus, although I guess I was born there, and I moved back and forth there off and on. I'm a Navy brat, so I grew up really on Navy bases all over the place. And
Okay.
my very first band was out in California, and I still am in touch with a couple of those guys, and one of them has become a pretty famous photographer that has done shoots for Time magazine and all these Reuters and you name it, he's done it. He actually did a swimsuit edition for Sports Illustrated and all that kind of stuff. He's quite the
Wow.
photographer.
Oh my
And actually, out on YouTube, there's a song I wrote called "The Whirlwind Blows," and Tom did the video for me. So,
wow.
and that's let's see, I started out playing. So in high school, that was my band in high school in California, and then I moved to high school in Corpus Christi, and I played with a guy a lot of these Corpus folks will know named Steve Paulson. And
Steve
after Steve and
Paulson.
Steve
Okay.
and I split up, he started a band called Nitro, and his band Nitro got really big, and they were, kind of a hard rock, band. And I
Wow.
went and played at the Rogues Club, and I was in the house band there, and we played with Freddie Fender in '74 and '75, and so
Isn't
that was
that
kind of
cool,
cool.
Paul? He was telling me that story. He got to play with Freddie Fender.
And
Wow.
That is cool.
Freddie's son, Sonny, used to come in and sit in with us on drums. He was only like 14 at the time, but he was a big kid and good musician. He plays a lot of stuff too, drums and bass and guitar. Good singer too, just like his dad was.
Wow. So that brings to mind the question, how long have you been doing music, Gary?
I started in 1968.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
that was my first band in high school, 1969 actually.
What was the
Started
name of
playing
your first
guitar in
band?
'68.
What was your first band's name? Do you
I
remember?
don't think we ever had a name, but we
Oh,
used to play at little parties around. One of the great parties we played at was uh, a, a girls' slumber party, and so you can imagine a bunch of 15-year-old boys hanging around a bunch of 15-year-old
ooh,
girls.
boy. I
That was
bet you remember that well.
yes. Uh,
Wow.
then
That is so cool.
I went to Del Mar College in Corpus, and
It's crazy.
one of the guys that I used to sit with every day was Chris Layton, and Chris was the drummer for Stevie Ray, and Chris and Sid Sanchez and me and my wife and a few other folks. Steve was one of them. Steve Paulson. We all used to sit there every morning and drink coffee and before we went to our first class. And
Oh my
anyway,
God.
Chris used to get these gigs, and so he pulled together a pickup band, and I was lucky enough to be in the band for a couple of those. And so, you know, I hadn't seen Chris in like 40 years, and I was sitting over here at Whataburger in Plano, and in walks Chris, and he didn't recognize me because I don't look anything close to the same, but that
Yeah.
Chris looked exactly like he always has.
Wow.
So I went and talked to him, and he remembered me after I started talking, but. Uh,
That's
anyhow,
amazing.
I started writing songs about 1982 when I was living in Houston. Wrote a few, and then I moved out to Virginia, and I kind of laid off playing except jam sessions for about 5 years. I came back to here to Plano, Texas. I worked for EDS, and I was making pretty good money, so I started buying recording studio equipment. And before you know it, I was writing songs like crazy. And I've got probably close to a couple hundred songs that I've written now.
Wow.
And I started off doing nothing but blues. And I've got a CD that I still keep out there, and you can find it on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music. And it's called Troubled Ground, and that's a lot of my blues stuff. And you know, I got one of those songs played on nationally syndicated radio.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. Well, Denise said they practiced in my garage in Corpus Christi, and Gary and Steve never looked back. Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool. And that's Denise Daniels Brink.
Oh yeah, Denise and I were good friends way back.
Gosh, that's
Um,
so cool. And it's so cool that some of your old friends are still on here. Denise, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Gosh, that's so cool. Isn't that cool, Paul? He's been doing music for that long.
Yeah, way before, well, about what 6 years before I was born.
Wow, that is
Probably, yeah.
amazing. That is amazing. So you have played with some of the top-notch musicians.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Sid Sanchez is another guy that I played with quite a bit. And
That
Sid
name sounds familiar.
Sid played guitar on one of John Mayall's album.
Wow.
And so he and I played at my high school reunion for King High School back in 2018, I think it was. It was our
Wow.
45-year reunion.
And you know what?
Wow.
Gary was telling me he played Bayfest, right?
I played,
1978,
yeah,
right?
78,
Bayfest.
79, and 80.
Can you
And
believe that, Paul? Remember Bayfest? Do you remember it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
yeah,
I think that's
70,
amazing because to me, Bayfest was always the place to be if you were big in the Corpus area, right, Paul? That was where you would be. You would be
Oh,
at
yeah.
Bayfest.
in 78, we were the very last band to play on Saturday night.
Oh, so that means you
And
were like the headliner then, right?
yeah,
Basically.
one of my good friends
Wow.
was running the soundboard, and we were blaring, and there was kind of people, we were up against the seawall area, and there was people as far as you could see all the way back to Ocean Drive.
Wow.
And
What was the name of your
so
band
that was a
then?
huge. What's that? The name of the band then was Bo Buster, and I'm
Oh,
still good friends with the guys from that band. My friend Alex Bagarena and AC Cavazos, and one of the guys, Rick Montez, was a drummer, and one of the guys there in Corpus is a big time lawyer now. He's Ray Martinez, and
wow.
Ray is also in the Texas Music Hall of Fame with another band he was in. So
Oh my
saxophone
gosh.
player.
You have really
Back in our
rubbed shoulders with some good, amazing people. So, folks, for those of you who didn't see it, sorry, Gary, Paul put up the links to, thank you so much, Paul. Put up his links to your YouTube channel and your Spotify channel. So I have them here. The YouTube is flashy, but you can also just click on it if you'd like. Paul, that's a smart idea. I never do that. I need to start doing that when I'm by myself. It's just hard. Thank God for Paul because I can't do it that quick. I'm just like, I don't even know how to go up there while I'm here. I get lost. So,
and
wow, Gary,
one of
you have
the
had a really
I've
cool
I've
career.
done a lot of country music as well, and one of my
Oh,
country songs got played on radio worldwide, including 400 stations here in the U.S. Um,
what?
it was a syndicated show, so I didn't get paid anything for it. But
Anything we would recognize? Any songs?
I doubt it. The song was the title of the song was called "I've Already Played That Song," and
It's a
one
cool
of my
title.
good friends down in Corpus Christi, a drummer, one of the best drummers I've ever known, Billy King, played drums on it, and a friend of mine from Austin, Casey Sieverman, played the bass, and it was great. And another friend of mine here in Plano, Dave West, played guitar on it with me, and so it was that was a nice song. I enjoyed. We actually performed that live a few times with my band called Texas Pearl. So
Wow. Well, I want to put up this photo real quick of you. I believe it's a photo of you at Bayfest, right? Or where is this at? This
yeah,
photo.
that was me at Bayfest.
Okay, so I'm going to put it up here. It's going to block our faces a little bit, but you can tell us a little bit about it, okay? It's not going to be real big, so y'all zoom in if you need to. Here we go. Okay, so where are you located at, Gary?
I'm all the way on the right, and I'm the one that's doing nothing but playing guitar.
Wow.
And then right there next to me is the bass player from that band, was Alex Baillarena. And then next to him, and back on the drums, was Rick Montez. And then a little bit in front of him was Ray Martinez on the saxophone. And all the way over on the left side was my friend AC Cavazos. And if you notice down in the far right-hand corner at the bottom, close up against the stage, was the cameraman for one of the local TV channels. I forget who it was.
Oh, I see that. Wow, that's so cool. Man,
So
that
yeah,
is
we
really
were on TV for that one. And this previous year, Saturday night, they were playing us on the radio. I think it was KEYS was playing us.
wow, that is so cool. Man, you've done so many really amazingly cool things. Like, honestly, can you imagine Paul playing at back in the day? That was the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it was still around,
it
it would still be. Wow, that is so cool. So, so we have got a lot of songs from Gary, and I'm just really excited. So I love these because these are literally you playing and you record it yourself, which I think is great. Because
Yeah, it's all in my little studio. I'm sitting in it, but from here you can't see all the stuff. You can only see me. So
yes, well, Robert just said when he said when I found Gary on Corpus Christi Songwriters, I knew instantly that I needed to friend him because I knew he was the real deal and that I could learn so much from him. Yes, I agree with that. That's smart.
Robert's a little bit modest, man. I think we could. I think a lot of us could learn something from Robert too. He's great.
Yeah, Robert's pretty
lyricist,
spectacular.
and he plays everything.
Wow.
One man band.
Yeah, Paul, anything you want to ask or add before we play the first song? Because I want to get
No,
started.
I'm ready to hear the song.
Me too.
I'm
And
ready to hear the
Paul,
song.
when y'all, I want to make sure because I watch some of these. I don't ever watch the whole thing. Everybody knows that. Watch when you're watching Gary the videos. Make sure you watch him play. I'm just like, wow. I mean, blown away by your playing and your singing. I think it is great. And Robert just said, "Thank you, Gary. That's so nice of you."
Yeah.
So let's get started and let them hear something so they can know what we're talking about, why we're raving about you.
So you were going to play the Long Goodbye first, right?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that song?
I wrote that song about. I started writing it because my wife is kind of slipping into dementia, and my dad had Alzheimer's, and my mom has a little dementia going, and my father-in-law had dementia pretty bad, and so it's kind of it's about that, you know, some of the trials, and there's a line in there. It says, "Turns us all to madmen and fools." Well, that's a line I borrowed from Shakespeare's King Lear, and in King Lear it turns us all to fools and madmen, but I had to make it rhyme, so I switched it around.
Wow, I can't wait to hear it. I don't think I listened to any of this one because I was trying to be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this, Gary? Paul, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh gosh. So this is called The Long Goodbye, and it's probably going to make me cry. I'm very sensitive. I'm going to try to I want to listen to it with open mind, just an open mind, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I'm so excited for this. The Long Goodbye by Gary D. Ward. Here we go.
As we approach the end and the curtain starts to fall, time goes by like a shooting star, streaking past us all. Hold on to the memories of times with the ones we loved, and treasure every moment like a gift trimmed God above. world just keeps on turning. The hands of time keep moving on. We're trapped here in this fortress with the ghosts inside these walls, and the door is closing fast as the shadows start to fall. Fading pictures of a lifetime can't tell it all. As this cold night descends upon us and robs us of our youth and turns us all to madmen and fools, as we begin the long goodbye and memories linger on. Living life after living life has begun. We've all seen this road before. We never dreamed that we would go to a place where the lost and lonely wind up stranded and alone, where you can't remember where you're from and you're not sure where you are, and everyone who ever cared had to depart. You may cry out to an angel and pray he hears your call. Above the empty silence, beneath the chilling fall, desperate and afraid, locked in a distant stare, reaching for a lifeline, finding nothing there. As this cold night descends upon us and robs us of our youth, turns us all to madmen and fools, as we begin the long goodbye, memories of memories linger on. Living life after living life has begun.
Wow,
Yeah,
Gary,
that's awesome.
that's a beautiful song.
That just makes me want to play the electric guitar now.
Yeah, I know. Now Paul's like, now I need to get me an electric guitar. Wow, Gary, what an amazing gift you have. I don't know where you got it from. I don't know where you went to school or what, you know what I mean? But you can tell that it's just in your blood. It is in your bloodstream. It is in your pores. I mean, that's amazing.
You
I think
know,
you're incredible.
I took lessons for about 3 months at the YMCA in San Diego, California. And then I just started listening to records and playing. And
Wow.
then I started watching other guys. I mean, while I was playing at the Rogues Club, I played with some spectacular guitar players, and I used to just watch them.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from playing with those guys. One of the guys still there in Corpus is just an awesome singer and blues player, is Howard McLaughlin, and of course Sid Sanchez, and there's
Man.
just a bunch of guys. I like the guys at the Electric Eel, if you can remember that place. I used to watch those guys all the time, and Evan Wood, and there was a guy named John Davidson. Those guys were just spectacular. And then
Wow.
the place called Trinity's, that there was a band, and David Rockwell used to play there, and he was just mind-blowing guitar player.
And for you to say they're mind blowing, and to me, you're so amazing. I'm like, how can you? I mean, but you have to learn from someone. That's just so cool.
Yeah.
And it didn't even dawn on me.
Oh, and
So you
Robert
belong
Spoon.
to the.
Robert Spoon's another guy. I briefly took lessons from him when I lived in Corpus Christi. He lived right down the street from me, and he's another really just mind-blowing guitar player.
Wow. Well, I see. I also forgot to mention that you belong to the Corpus Christi Songwriters Association.
I do,
I'm a
yeah.
member too. I've just never done anything with it. So I think that's cool. We had the founder, Jimmy, on here with Yash and Yimmy. They were on the show, and it was a
Yeah,
really great
I
show.
listen to those guys all the time. They're good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Man, I was listening to them. I was
Looks
like,
like they're going
remember
places
how much
too.
they harmonized, how beautiful it was together?
Yeah, looks
It
like they're
was,
going places too. So
yeah, they're touring right now, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. That was a beautiful song. So let me see. Hold on, let me go. So Debbie DeClement said beautiful song. And I completely agree. I said, yes, it is. And our friend Sammy Sanchez is here. Sammy, welcome back. We missed you, sir. We haven't seen Sammy in a long time. He used to be here every show, and we've been missing him. We've been missing him. Paul, anything you want to add about the song before we go on to the next?
No, it was awesome. It was awesome guitar playing. I'm also a learner by watching. And that's basically how I started learning. I watched a few YouTube videos on your basic CDG E.
My son is doing that now too. My son is 44, so he's learning to play guitar now. I never could get into when
I'm older than that, and I still really haven't done it seriously.
Yeah,
I'm 55. I need to do it seriously. I haven't.
It's one of those things where I never thought I could play the guitar. I never had the desire. Not really. Yeah, it's really the desire, because I always felt that it was just too difficult.
Yeah.
And we started the show, and I started watching other people play the guitar, and I'm like, oh, they're just doing this movement. And I went online and I started looking, and I'm like, oh, yeah, your basic keys, your basic, way up there on the fretboard. I'm now wanting to get down into the lower part of the fret and learning the pentatonics code, or
it's really kind of, the pentatonic code is probably most of what I do.
Yeah.
Wow, I never even heard of that, Paul. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, well, no, it's one of those things. I would love to learn how to do it, and there's like a certain way that your notes form. Like he was able, like that song, he was able to pull those sad notes out of that code.
There's a key. I mean, one thing that it took me a long time to learn was that when you change chords, you can change to that key, that pentatonic key for that chord. So that gives you a lot broader range of
so you can get a completely different sound out of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool. That is cool. See, Paul, it's just so amazing, these people we have on here. We're so blessed. So let's go to the next song, because we have a lot. Okay, Gary? Okay, Paul, sorry. Yeah. And keep asking questions about that, because before the show's over, Paul's going to be playing electric guitar. Watch. He's going to learn. Yeah. He will. I'm always so impressed with Paul, because he's one of these rare people that can pick up something and just do it. So Robert says, if you guys remember my song, Those Summer Nights, that was Gary playing all the guitar parts that totally made the song great. Okay, yes, I do. No wonder that song was so great. Oh my God, I understand now. And I want to let y'all know right now, it is thundering outside. So I am praying. If we lose power for a minute, if we lose power, it is completely out of my control. I'm letting you know, okay? Because and I'm praying that doesn't happen. But if that happens, I will get back online as soon as I can. I'm just telling you in advance, right, Paul? Because that happened before and the power wasn't even out. So
that's what I was kind of worried about over here, because I hear the lightning outside, and I hear lightning. I'm hearing the thunder from the lightning.
Yes.
Lightning and the thunder. No,
and so let's get to the next song, because I'm so worried about because it already went out once. So the next
you were going to do Today is a Good Day, or Was a Good Day?
Next was Keep Walking. Is that okay?
Oh, Keep Walking, sure. Yeah.
Tell us about that song. What inspired you to write that?
I was watching one of those morning news shows, and they had a guy on there, and this is really almost his story. He turned 103 that day, and he was as sharp as could be, and he was married to a second wife. He'd been married to her for 60 years. He served in World War II. He's like a lieutenant colonel, maybe a colonel. And he served as CEOs of, and he's still like on the board for a big charity. Anyway, just a really sharp, smart man. And they asked him what his secret was, and he said, "Just keep walking." And I was like, "Oh, that's a song."
Smart. And you picked that. That's smart.
And so a lot of my lyrics in the song are from his story.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to hear it. So y'all ready, Paul? Are you ready?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go, y'all.
I'm ready to hear this story.
I know, me too. It's going to be a good story. Here we go. Keep walking. Check this out. I can't wait. Here we go.
Saw a man the other day, he had lived a century. Fought the Second World War and set the world free. He was married to his second wife for more than 60 years. They were happy with the life they'd lived, through the laughter and the tears. And I asked about his secret to longevity. He said the world won't take the things you love, but can't take your memories. Just keep walking. Don't take life lying down. The world may make you weary. Don't let it steal the joy you've found. Life is filled with contradictions that will make it hard to see that there is good between the lines. Just let it be. Keep on walking. Oh, son, just keep on walking. Him of a time he'd seen before. He'd hoped the world had learned a lesson from the horrors of that war. He said to think about your children, think about mankind, think of all they stand to lose if you get it wrong this time. And he was worried for the future. He sees it spinning out of control. He hopes he's wrong with all his heart and all his soul. Just keep walking. Don't take life lying down. The world may make you weary. Don't let it steal the joy you've found. Life is filled with contradictions that will make it hard to see. If there is good between the lines, just let it be. Keep on walking. Oh, son, keep on walking. Keep on walking. Just keep on walking. Just keep on walking. Just keep on walking. Just keep on walking.
Oh my gosh, Gary. Me personally, I like that song even better than the first one.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
right,
a really
Paul?
good song, and it actually adheres to what's going on today in the world today. And yeah, it was a good song. So I have a question regarding this, because you said you wrote this song and this guy was talking on the news. He was 105, and you took some of the stuff he did and you put it as a song. do you have to get permission to do that, or is it just something that you just decided to write? And
He said, keep walking. You know, you
yeah,
don't, I don't have to get permission to use words
okay.
like
No, I was just
Yeah, I don't
curious
think
because
so either.
I hear stuff all the time. I hear people talk all the time, like, hey, I can use that as a song, and I wasn't sure
even if
if I
somebody
could do that.
trademarks a line, they don't they can't prevent you from putting it in a song,
Yeah.
lyrics in a song.
Nice.
Now, if
So
you
that's
copyright
wrong.
somebody's lyrics or you copy somebody's lyrics word for word, they can sue you for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what, Paul, though? That is a good question. Really, that's a great question. Paul's just started out in songwriting. I didn't think you had to, but I was kind of curious what your answer would be, too. I've never asked anybody's permission. I joke about it. I'm like, I'm going to use that in a song. And they're like, man, and Robert just said Gary is one of the best songwriters I've ever met. Robert, I have to agree with you on that. I mean, like, wow. That song needs to be playing on the radio everywhere. So does the other one. It really
Yeah,
does.
you know, the thing about radio stations, it's not like with Loretta Young when she was, you know, you don't just ride
I
around
know.
and ask them to play your song.
It's
They got
not,
all
but
these
you know
big
what?
corporate
At, at the
playlists
very least,
driving.
I'm gonna play your songs on my little radio show at the very least.
Cool.
And I mean, hey, it's something. At least it's something, and I definitely will do that, right, Paul? We love to do that.
Yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
and it's bad. Like in today's age, is everything's run like the corporate way up there, and
Yep.
if you don't go through a production company, then you can't get their songs out. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that, and that's why we
You
have
know,
this show so we can bring
the
people
thing
on
is
who
that
hasn't.
about digital recording and home recording, that took their right to shut you down away.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
prior to all that, they could just say, nah, get out of here. You know, you're not getting
Yeah,
recorded.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, like Paul said, that's why we started this venture
yeah,
ourselves, is
All
because
these
we wanted to
producers
give.
start telling you the lyrics to your song, you know, nah, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
See
I don't
and
blame
that's exactly why I started doing self-publishing, because I didn't want to go through a publishing company and have them tell me, no, you need to knock out a third of what you wrote,
Right.
and
you.
it's
Hmm.
all BS, and we don't want it. We don't want this. Isn't what's in. I don't
Yes,
care what's in. I just want to write
I
what I
know what
want to
I
write.
wrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gary, I personally think that song will, and the other one so far, the two. I mean, for sure, keep walking, because that's to motivate people. What we're dealing with as a society. Just keep moving forward. Gosh, I really like that.
Yeah.
I really do,
Yeah,
man.
it's a good
The,
message.
there's another one of my songs that I borrowed. I'm in that Corpus Christi. We grew up in Corpus Christi group on
Yes.
Facebook, and there's an old guy that's was in the Navy. He's in his 90s, and he's about the same, a little bit older than my dad was, but not much. And he's always writing his stories and posting his stories of stuff from his life, and it's amazing because he was on the same ships and the same places that my dad was. So it's kind of like I get to see all this stuff that I never really thought of when I was a kid.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So it's almost like, is your dad still with us?
No, he
Okay.
passed about 5 years ago.
I was gonna say it's almost like being with your dad, hearing him tell the stories. I bet. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is so cool.
the one of his posts that one of the lines I used came from someone just was responding to him, and they wrote "living life after living life," and
Very cool.
I thought, oh man, I don't know if this guy wrote it, but he just wrote lyrics.
That's
Yeah.
lyrics. Yeah, for real. Wow, that's beautiful. So the next song that we have, gosh, I wanted to talk to you all night. That is just so cool. The thunder has got me worried, Paul. It's thundering louder here, so I'm just over here.
I can tell you've gotten into a frantic state.
I have, because I already know our electricity goes off so easily. So let's get to the next song, Gary. Okay, I don't want to rush you, but I don't want to get cut off. The next song is called Rock Bottom, which great title. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, well, I in my part of my story in the last, I guess, 10, maybe 9 years, I got diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver,
Oh,
and I had to quit drinking. And eventually, I went in 2016. I had to get a liver transplant,
oh my
and I'm
gosh.
still alive because of some 30-year-old young lady that somebody shot, but she was an
Oh,
organ donor and saved my life. You know, God bless
oh
her.
my gosh.
So I wrote this song, Rock Bottom, about, you know, reaching that point where you have to quit. And then you reach that point sometimes where you think about, you know, but you got to stay away from it, you know. So it's kind of about that.
Wow. I mean, what a testimony that is. I mean, you had, because of someone else, you're alive.
Yeah.
And you had to. Wow, that's amazing, right? Paul, anything you want to add before we play the song?
Oh no, I don't want to add to your frantic state. So let's go ahead and do the
No, I'm
song.
okay. I'm just, it thundered that. I don't hear it now, but I hear Brett, my husband, going to the door, so he's worried about the weather too. That's why he's walking outside and he's making me nervous. Stop doing that. Anything else you want to add? I'll try not to be frantic. I'm trying not to. I'm sorry. Let me read this real quick, what Denise said. Here, Paul, you read it. Can you see it?
Yes, the Beatles took the phrase "obli dioble."
Obla diabla.
Obli,
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, diva da, from a friend of
And
theirs.
that's the title
They
of the song.
phrase. Yeah, they liked the phrase and used it in their song. They did give the friend a check for it, but musicians use life stories and phrases in their music.
Well, if these songs ever become famous, I'll meet with some copyright lawyer or whatever, and because I, you know, and they can tell me what I need to credit, you know.
Absolutely. And I know you would do the right thing for sure. So let's get to this Rock Bottom. This sounds like a really interesting story. I'm very excited to hear this one too. Man, I could sit here and listen to these songs all night. Y'all ready, guys?
Yes.
Ready, Paul? Okay, here we go. Rock Bottom.
Let's go.
No.
Staring out on the horizon, it looks like it could be Mars. Except there's a highway somewhere, you can't get there in your car. Red sand in all directions, maybe a tumbleweed now and then. The only sound here in this wasteland is the wind. Broken hearts and broken people, and broken minds and broken souls. It's a place that you wind up when you've lost all control. When you've lost your direction and you need to find your place, then you get down on your knees and find your way. The hardest place that you can land is rock bottom. It's a place you never dreamed that you would be. You can't even call your friends if you still got them. Once you're there, you can't get back on your feet. The need to step away. Redemption is a process that you will repeat every day. Maybe call a friend when you're feeling weak and down, 'cause the other side is that wasteland and that empty sound. Broken hearts and broken people, broken minds and broken souls, still haunt that place you wind up if you decide to go alone. Your redemption won't be easy, but you just stay in your lane. When you get down on your knees, you'll find your way. The hardest place that you can land is rock bottom. It's a place you never dreamed that you would be. You can't even call your friends if you still got them. But once you're there, you can't get back on your feet.
Oh my gosh, Paul, go ahead. I
So,
know you got a lot to say.
oh, I know Brett basically asked the question of how the videos were made,
Yeah,
and
good question.
it's you were doing black screen, I guess.
I got a green screen
Oh, you did green screen.
here in my studio, and I shoot all the video with my phone, which eventually I'll get a better camera.
They look
But
good.
you know, got to
Yeah.
do it a little bit at a time.
So that
And
green
I've
screen's
got
good. It's not
I couldn't
boring.
afford what's the big thing, Adobe, stuff.
Adobe
Uh,
Photoshop or Adobe
Photoshop.
Premiere.
I couldn't afford Photoshop and whatever they do their videos with. So I bought this product from Australia, and I can't even remember what it's called. But I found that it had a green screen utility, and I was able to go look up how to use it online. The company is called NV. N is in Nancy, V is in Victor, C is in Charlie. So that's the name of the company, and they have some products, and I use several of them now.
Wow. That is so cool. Well, my husband Brett also said badass guitar playing. Love it,
Yeah.
love it, love it, with a lot of exclamation marks. Let me put that up there.
Thanks.
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah, really
it's
good.
the ending. The ending is what that's that. I saw a lot of stream movement. I
Me
was
too,
like,
right,
wow.
Paul?
Well, I've gotten kind of slow in my old age, and there's stuff that I played on my blues album way back in 2003 and 4 that I don't think I can play anymore because I got arthritis in my hands, and
Yeah.
I've got a finger that had 14 stitches in it one time, and in my old age, it's kind of swelling. So you might have noticed that guitar is probably not like anything you've ever seen. It's I've got 2 guitars made by a company called Big Lou, and they're made for guys that have large fingers. So they have a little bit wider nut, and
That's what I
they're
need.
not they're
You
not
do,
real
Paul. I was
expensive,
just thinking that.
but they use the same hardware as Gibson, so they sound pretty good.
It
I've got a
sounds
Les
really
Paul
good.
that I can't play anymore because it weighs 13 pounds. And the neck's a little thin. I can play it. I can still use it to play blues, but I can't play it for very long because 13 pounds strapped around your neck is not easy
That's
to do.
heavy. Wow.
I did it for 40 years probably, but I'm not at a point where I can do that anymore.
Yeah, Gary, I want to ask you before I forget, how long has it been since you lived in Corpus?
I moved out in 1981. I moved to Houston, and I doubled my salary when I did that.
Wow.
So,
Well, because you look familiar, and I thought you may know a friend of mine, Emily Dale. I don't know if you know her. She's
yeah,
a singer in Corpus. You know
she's
Emily?
she's a friend on Facebook. We never met in person, but I bet you I saw her because she's been
Yeah, she's a
performing
singer.
around forever.
She's amazing. I don't know why you remind me of a guy that she introduced me to years ago. She's like the first person that really encouraged me, and she is incredible. Boy, she's got that.
Yeah,
Janis
I'm always
Joplin.
getting that. I'm always getting that. I look like somebody.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though that you have her as a friend, and that's a small world. So you never know. So Sylvia says hello, Sylvia. Melissa says great music, and Maria said Marie. I always call her Marie. She says hi, Carolyn. Sorry I'm late. Supper with my daughter and kids sounds awesome. I'm so glad you all are here, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone that's here tonight. Paul, anything you want to add before we get to the next song? I don't hear thunder anymore, so maybe it rolled over. I feel
Well, it came to me because it is pouring.
Really?
Oh,
Brett,
my
was it
Lord.
raining here? Yeah, Brett said it's raining.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hope you keep your power.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm like, oh God, please don't do this during a show. Just anytime during a show. So
It wouldn't be the first time.
I know, for real. And that time it wasn't even a storm. Remember, we lost the internet went down in our neighborhood. It actually turned into an hilarious night because I didn't know it was the internet that went down. I thought it was just my internet, my computer, but it was the whole internet in the whole neighborhood. And I was freaking out. My husband was trying to reset everything. And the couple that we had on were so amazingly funny that somehow they were able to stay on and somehow I could still hear. It was crazy. It was crazy. And somehow I'd stayed on and they ended up interviewing themselves. It was
that was
great.
also a night that my microphone for some reason stopped working, and I had to figure. And then the next week I figured out what the problem was on that one. It was it was
Paul, we couldn't
I have weird stuff happen to me all the time like that. And Carolyn, you and I went through that the other day when we were testing it. I mean,
this was everything that could go wrong did go wrong. All of it. I couldn't hear Paul. I was like, what in the heck, GLL's going on here? It lasted about 10 minutes here in Victoria. Yeah, it's moving pretty quickly, I think. So let's get to the next song. And I like the title of this one, too. This is Leave It Alone. You want to tell us a little bit about that song, Gary?
Sure. And this kind of has to do with the way I've started feeling recently with gas prices and inflation. And, it's not the first time, I'm old, I'm 67 and I'm old enough to have already been through this. And so it's kind of about, I've seen hard times before and I kind of know what to do. I wish it wasn't here again, but here we go.
They say
anyway, that's kind of what it's about. It's kind of about the charlatans that come around and bring this stuff on us,
Yeah.
Excellent. I love it, man. Your writing. I love your writing, man. You've got some amazing lyrics. Your phrasing. I
love that word charlatan.
Yeah.
Charlatan.
I haven't heard that word, right, Paul, in a long time.
I actually, if you search through my YouTube stuff, I actually do have some love songs and stuff like that out there. But my latest, all of these songs are not published yet, and they're, so they will be eventually. But so like I'm in the process of writing one now that's kind of a love song. So they're not going to all be dark.
No, your songs aren't dark. They're very they're current and applicable, and that's why I love them. They have a lot of they got a lot of depth to them, right, Paul? I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
And I love songs like that. Paul knows that. I'm always like,
it's so funny is that when I started writing, so I'm a rocker. I like rock songs, and for the life of me, I can't write a rock song. I'm writing ballads, and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Well,
the guitar.
I mentioned Steve Paulson earlier. He and the last band he and I were in together, we were playing Led Zeppelin and the Who and that kind of rock, So, and had amplifiers that were just blowing the neighbors out of the neighborhood,
Oh.
Oh my God.
I think I still have ringing in the ears from that,
Yes.
Wow, that is so cool. So let's check it out. I know it's going to be great. Golly, I mean, I don't think there's anything you can make that's not great. You ready, Paul? You ready?
I'm ready.
Gary, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Y'all don't go anywhere. Check out this great song. Let me find it. Hold on before you do. There it is. I found it. They made me in charge of the clicker, Paul. Bad idea. Bad idea. Here we go.
I'm going to write a song about you called The
hard time to come. It's nothing I haven't seen before. Still it's surprising when this recycled madness is back at our door. It's just like it's always been. If it seems too good to be true, then it is. Now we're well off. said the only certainty is death and change. And repeating history is always the same. If it ain't right, then it's wrong. If it ain't broke, then leave it alone. Leave it alone. By now, the helping hand ain't what this is about. It's all about money and power and whose hands it's in. If you're tearing the old bridge down, I hope you find a new way around. 'Cause being trapped on an island ain't the right way to begin. It's been said the only certainty is death and change. Repeating history is always the same. If it ain't right, then it's wrong. If it ain't broke, then leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
No, now first I was cut off. I'm gonna say, Carolyn, I was gonna say I'm gonna write a song called "The Clicker." It's gonna be about you. Now
The clicker.
The clicker. The song. Now I want to take that song. I want to fold it up into a little envelope and then mail it to the sentence.
Great.
Because I swear this song was written for them.
Yes.
Because they always feel someone has a better idea and they want to change everything. And it's so messed up. Just leave it alone.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm one of those, I always hate change. Except I guess I was part of big changes for a while, but I reached a point where I just didn't want to do that anymore,
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. I don't mind change.
Let me say, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that's okay. No, I don't mind change. Change is good, but don't just change it because you want to change it because the last person that was in office was who he was. Just God, just leave it alone.
Yeah, and I like
it's all
change for greed. It's not a good thing either,
Exactly, and that's oh my Lord, I could talk all night about that. But Jesus,
yeah, and I like your hook. If it ain't right, it's wrong. If it ain't broke, then leave it alone. That's so clever.
Yeah.
I mean, so simple, Gary, right?
Yeah.
But so clever. Did you just come up with that like that? I mean, that line, and just for example, right, Paul? If it ain't right, it's wrong. I mean, it's the opposite. If it ain't broke, just leave it alone.
I've heard that line, "It ain't broke, leave it alone," from my dad.
Nice.
Smart
man.
But the other thing, it just popped into my head one day, and
I love it. It's a great line. The way, right, Paul? The way it.
Yeah. See, my dad always told me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That was my dad's line, and I just sort of
use
leave it
alone
within the song.
Smart.
Yeah.
See how we get
and the song is so true.
Everywhere.
That song is so true. I'm just I
it's really, really, really good. So I wanted to remind you all. So we've been having this issue with Facebook. I'm telling you right now, forever. So odds are very good, Gary. Even though you say it's not out there, they could still mute us. They muted all the whole songs last night, Paul. So what I want y'all to do is when you go back and share this. First, look and see if it's muted. Okay, I'm gonna check. If it is, send them to Facebook. Carolyn's Corner Live on Facebook, because it's right there in Facebook. Not Facebook. Listen to me. YouTube. Okay. I just thought of that again because I don't want anybody to miss out on these great lyrics or your great songs. I mean, that's the whole point of the show, right, Paul? And they're blocking the whole songs.
Yeah.
Actually, the one that I told you about the other day got fixed. Finally, they offered me a link to say, hey, that really belongs to me. You don't have the right to say it belongs to somebody else, you know?
Wow.
Anyway.
Well, I'm glad you got
that song More Than I Deserve was one that they did that to. They said that belongs to somebody else. And no, I wrote that song.
Yeah, and wait till y'all hear that one. Oh my God, that's one I did.
And Facebook is another one of those corporations that love getting into different things, and
the thing is, it's all AI that listens to it, and there's no real people involved until eventually you get a chance to report it.
Yeah, and they won't even let me report anymore. They've blocked my ability to do that.
Well,
I have to be really careful.
I had to keep going back to this one. It took 5 days before I finally was able to do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, I'm hoping that they don't mute us, but I'm letting everyone know just in case. You can go to our YouTube. Normally, YouTube does not mute us. And if they do, I go back and try to watch a little bit of the show afterwards. I will go and find the link on YouTube and post it to Facebook. We'll just go around. So, Paul, anything else you want to ask right now? I'm so sorry. I clicked on it as soon as you said that. I'm really sorry. I couldn't go back.
No, that's okay. I knew you were clicking. As soon as it happened, I'm like, yeah, I'm used to it. The only thing I didn't get was the arm slap.
What are you going to call it? The click song?
The clicker.
The clicker. It's a good one. It's a good
Running down the street. The clicker.
The clicker. That's funny. That is so great. So, Gary, the next song that we're going to feature tonight is called Today Was a Good Day. I like the way that sounds. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Well, recently my wife had COVID, and I had COVID, so for almost 3 weeks, I couldn't go see her.
Oh.
And then when I finally tested negative, I went.
Hold on.
And she got really confused, as a result of being alone so long.
Yeah, it's COVID. COVID is another one of those little bad things, and unfortunately, I think it's here to stay. I hope it goes, but
this latest variant for me, it was tough, but for her, it turned into encephalitis.
Oh my God, really? Paul, can you read that?
I'm sorry, whoever
that is. I don't mean to make fun, but I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Okay, so anybody, do not click on that link. That is a spammer.
Yes, I'm going to see if it'll add to block list. I'm sorry, whoever you were. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're the weakest link. Anyway.
Yeah,
I got distracted by that.
And do not call that number.
Yes, do not. I couldn't get it fast enough. So today was a good day. She ended up with encephalitis.
Yeah, encephalopathy. I don't know the difference, but anyway, she got better after a month in the hospital, and then she spent 3 weeks in rehab, and she's home now. So she got home Monday.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, thank God she's home. Man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry that she's going through all that, and that you're going through all that. That's just a lot.
Yeah, I've had COVID twice this year already. I think I've had it 3 times, but I tested negative this last time, and it's crazy because I had it in.
Hate it when that happens, right?
Huh?
Hate it when that happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like this last time, I just could not get over it. I was like, it wasn't I was sick. It was just the fact that runny nose. I had headaches, and then I was coughing up. I was constantly coughing up mucus. I mean, it was nonstop. But
that was the way mine was. But my first symptom was like severe arthritis. I could hardly walk.
Oh my Lord, that happened to me. See, last Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon, I started sneezing, and that's what. And I got that little feeling in the back of my throat and my nose, and I'm like, "There's no way. I just had this in June. There is no way I have this again." And my wife said, "No, you need to test for COVID." I'm like, "Nah." So the next day I woke up and oh my Lord, I couldn't even walk to the bathroom hardly.
That's the way I got it.
bad. I mean, my joints just. I knew every part of my body had arthritis because I was just walking, my feet still hurt, but man, that was the worst ever. And then the next day I started feeling a little better, but geez.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I had a frog in my throat because every time I talk, it come out like this, like I was a 20-year smoker.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing now that they're saying it's and in some people, a third of the population, it's causing peripheral neuropathy, which is in your legs.
Yeah.
And your feet. That's what one of those doctors told me. Because Paul knows, ever since the COVID, I've been out of work ever since. Because
a good friend of mine has the same problem with it. He had it at the same time I did, and he's got neuropathy pretty bad in his feet now.
Yeah. And I know
He had
it
it
has to do
somewhat
with
before,
that
but
because
now
it's right
it's
after
worse.
that. Yeah. Man, it's sad. It's really hard. But what are you going to do? You just do the best you can,
Yeah, because I mean, walking, I have to have special shoes now because my feet hurt so bad. I can't wear flip flops.
I didn't know that, Paul.
Yeah, well, it just started about a week ago. I can't wear sandals. It's been going on a while, but it stopped. But I can't wear sandals.
I found some shoes on Amazon for diabetics, and that's what I wear. And
I thought about that, but I'm not diabetic. But
it doesn't matter.
The thing is, they're much easier to walk in, and for me, they have Velcro straps, so that's another thing. I can't tie my shoes anymore.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've been wearing those. What are they called? The slip-on ones now. The new ones. What are they called, Paul?
Crocs.
I can't remember.
Crocs.
What are they?
I don't know what they are.
I can't remember. I can't rember. Boyfriend.
You have Crocs, which are the name brand, or you have alligators, which are from Walmart.
Yeah, now Crocs. When I wore those, my feet felt better, and I didn't have the name brands. I had the alligators. But they helped my feet. And then I got these other shoes, the slip-on, whatever they're called, and I've been wearing those now. So
yeah, my wife bought me some Reeboks online, and she got them in. She's like, "Here, you can wear these." And I'm like, "Okay, awesome," because the other shoes I've had to put soles, and I had to do all kinds of crap to them, and because and I put them on. I'm like, "Oh my God, my feet feel so much better now. I can actually walk." And I walk a lot for my job, and I drive a lot, but I also walk when I get there. And man, I'll tell you what, those shoes. Whew.
I used to wear Western boots every day. Can't do it anymore.
The ones I've been wearing are Hey Dudes, but I've been wearing them with my special insoles, and my feet still kill me. So I don't know. But let's play this song. So let's say today was a good day. I had a good day. I got a lot of stuff done, even though my feet are killing me. By the time I got back, I was like, "Oh, I'm hurting." So you ready? Y'all ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Today was a good day. Remember that. I love that title.
Every day's a good day, but today was the best.
So Robert says, "Good night, folks. Congrats, Gary, on your show tonight, and thank you for sharing your music with us. I have an early wake-up call tomorrow. Looking forward to doing some more songs with you." And my husband said,
"Thanks, Robert."
Please. So here we go. Robert, God bless you. Get some rest. We'll talk to you soon. Here we go. Here is "Today Was a Good Day" by Gary D. Ward. Hold on. I forgot I got to do this one different. Let me put us in the waiting room because I didn't have room, so I had to put it over here. Hold on. I'm putting us all in.
There were so many miles that we lived in love, so many places we lived out our dreams. We lived like there was no tomorrow, wearing our hearts on our sleeves. So many days we couldn't slow down, too many forces that pulled us away. In the end there were too many tolls we just couldn't pay. When you left, it took me down for a while. I've gotten past it and I'm living somehow. I picked up all the pieces, not moving now. Wasn't quite sure that I'd get up again. Thought my spirit would never mend. There are still places I can't bear to go. They remind me of things I wish I didn't know. But today was a good day. I can't think of you now and smile. My heart's in a good place, and I haven't been that way for a while. While it's true there are moments, it still breaks my heart to think of you. The hardest part is behind, and your memories are pulling me through. I don't remember where the wheels came on, but I know I will survive. I've gone through the worst of it, and I'm still alive. But today was a good day. I can think of you now and I smile. Think my heart's in a good place. I haven't been that way for a while. While it's true there are moments, it still breaks my heart to think of you. The hardest part is behind me, your memories are pulling me through.
I got to click us back in the room. Sorry about that. Great job, Gary.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
That
right in the
was
middle of that, my wife started calling me, and I had to go look down. I'm upstairs, and she's downstairs, so
Oh, okay. Is everything okay?
she's fine. She just, needs to know that I'm still here.
Of
Yes.
course,
So,
absolutely. That gives her peace and assurance. That's how I feel about my husband a lot of times. Are you in the house? Where are you? Wow, that was
yeah,
great.
well, it's especially difficult for her with the dementia, So
Oh, I
she,
know. I know. My mom suffered with that, and it's horrible. I'm so sorry you're going through that. It is so hard. I
it's
worry about
it's
myself because my mom had it. And my memory is really really bad. Like I'm slipping on things. So I want to take a moment to say hello, but real quick to Ron Hayden. Hi, Ron. Good to see you. And he said, "Good song." He said, "Hello, all. Sorry I'm late to the party, Carolyn." No problem, Ron. I'm just glad you're here. And Ron will be our guest next Thursday. I had my husband look because I couldn't remember. Ron will be on here next Thursday, so y'all make sure and stay tuned because you never know who we're going to have on the show. We've had so many talented people. Sorry, Gary, what were you going to say, sir?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The 8th, I think the day before that is Sean. I got him on my calendar. Let me look real quick. Let me make sure I'm right. If I messed up again, I'm going to have to hit myself. Yes, the 18th. No, wait, I looked at the date wrong. Sorry. The 17th. Brett, make sure.
On the calendar is 18.
Did I mess up? Oops.
She,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll fix it. I've
He
got Hayden
booed
on
it.
the calendar on the 17th. Ron, are you on the calendar? Are you on for the 17th or I got mixed up again. I'm so sorry. Are you on for Wednesday the 17th or Thursday the 18th? Because I have Sean Christopher on the 18th. So I want to make sure I'm right. Since you're here, Ron, it's a good idea to ask you.
Karen makes a boo boo.
I know. I did one yesterday too because I'm getting
Talk
mixed
about
up.
talk about not having the good memory.
Uh-oh. The 18th. Uh-oh. Ron, can I move you to the 17th? I messed up. Can you do Wednesday the 17th, please, Ron? It would mean so much to me. Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry. So let's get back to the show. And I'll
Yes.
try not to mess up. I'm so sorry. So the next song we have, which is the last song, I listened to most of this, and wow, I really, really liked it. This is called More Than I Deserve. I have loved all of your songs. I really
Just
have, Gary.
Thanks.
real quick, Carolyn.
Yes.
While you're trying to fix all that, do you have to do sponsorship stuff?
Yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me. I was just going to do it after, but let's do it right now. Gary, you mind waiting for a little bit?
Not at all.
Great. Thank you so much. So,
You gotta pay the bills.
yeah, thank you for reminding me, Paul. Thank you, because you know me, my brain, I can't remember anything. So every show, I definitely want to shout out to our great sponsors, because without them, a lot of this would not be possible. And our sponsor that we have right now is Scores Bar and Grill, and it's a great place to go if you're ever in Beeville, Texas. It's just a great, relaxed atmosphere. They have great food. They have all types of different entertainment throughout the weeks. And you can find them at Scores Bar and Grill on Facebook. So let me play this little video real quick, and we'll be right back. Thank you for reminding me, Paul.
Gentlemen, did you hear the great news? Scores Bar and Grill has been remodeled and it is now open. That's right, Scores is open. They have great lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for only $6.99. Every Wednesday they have open mic starting at 7 p.m. All of their information is on their Facebook page at Scores Bar Beeville. So go check them out at 1502 North St. Mary Street, right here in Beeville. You'll be so glad you did.
Okay, and I've got another thing I'd like to play real quick. This is
I like that commercial, by the way.
yeah, it's not bad. The other one was terrible. I messed up real bad.
I like
Thank
that
you,
commercial.
Paul. Thank you, Paul. So I've got something else I wanted to play for you guys. So as you may or may not know, and I don't know if you've heard yet, Gary, but we are planning a big show next month on September the 10th. And it's going to be a big deal. We have a lot of different singer-songwriters that are going to be there because we're featuring so many talented people. We want to take it to the next level and have a live show for some of these guys and gals. So now the ones that are coming on September, not all of them have been on the show, but we're working on it right now to get them scheduled. So a lot of these are more local, so they don't have to drive so far. So I just want to play this little clip for you and tell you what we're doing, give you a little bit of insight, and give you an opportunity to help out if you'd like to. So let me play that real quick, and we'll be right back. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the show. It's such an honor to be able to bring all of these amazingly talented people your way. We love being able to bring those that would otherwise be in the shadows possibly to the forefront and let them share their wonderful talent. We do this completely free of charge, and it is our honor to do so. However, we are attempting something big here in Beeville, Texas. We are planning our first ever Carolyn's Corner Live Festival, featuring some of the great talent that have been on our show or in any of our shows. And we definitely need everyone's support to make this event possible. This will actually be a small event compared to the one we'd like to do in June of next year. There are a few great ways that you can help. First of all, you can purchase some of our amazing merchandise that you see listed here. From koozies to t-shirts, we've got something for everyone. And don't forget about our wonderful smelling air freshies. You can find all of our merchandise on our website, carolinscorner.live, or by messaging us on our Facebook page. Just make sure you send a message with the size and color you like if you want the t-shirts. You can also become a sponsor of Carolyn's Corner Live, or specifically sponsor one of the shows. Of course, we would also love and accept any donation of any amount. Every dollar we make will go towards making these events incredible and continue bringing the live shows every week. If you'd like to donate merchandise for raffles that we're planning during the live shows, let me know that as well. Thank you so much. And here are all of our points of payment that you can use, or you can pay for merchandise directly on our website, carolinscorner.live. Thank you again for your support. God bless you.
Thanks so much for watching Carolyn's Corner and helping us grow our family.
All right, welcome back to another mess up by Carolyn. Ron, don't worry, I will get it resolved. I'm so sorry. Don't worry. What happens is I have my big calendar at home that takes up half my wall. Paul is my witness. He's seen it. Well, when I'm somewhere else, which I was over at Paul's house when we talked to Sean, I didn't have that big giant calendar with me, and I was on my phone and I did not have it in my phone. So it is my fault. Do not worry, Ron. You are still the 18th. We'll work it out. Paul, I'm sorry. Hopefully Sean will. Sean, he probably will. We do not have anyone on the 17th, okay? And that's where I got mixed up. I looked at the dates wrong. I'm so sorry. Golly. Hey, I'm only human. I'm definitely not one to say I don't mess up, because I always mess up. I hope y'all like that little commercial. If anybody would like to help, be a sponsor, donate merchandise, just support us in any way, please let us know. We're always looking for help. This is going to be a pretty big deal. And Paul, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It is getting bigger.
Wouldn't expect anything less from you.
I know, we got to go big. Go big or go home, right? Right, Gary? What do you think?
Yeah. Say that to Brett.
Yeah,
for real.
It sounds great. I wish I could be down there. I'm just, it's a long drive.
Well,
I don't travel well anymore.
I understand. I do understand. Well, our hope, like I said in the little video, is our hope, and I mean it's a big hope, is to be able to raise money and do it again next year, but do it even bigger. Maybe a 2-day event is what we're all talking about. It's a lot. It's a lot. But if it comes together, when it comes together, I'm going to be optimistic. You know what I mean? It's a little anxiety, because I'm like, oh gosh, but just going to be optimistic. I'm going to be optimistic. So, Ron, I'm sorry about that. We got you. Don't worry. Yes, for real. Maybe next year. That's what I was going to say. Maybe next year. So, Gary, we do have one more song from you. And man, I'm for real. I love all of your songs that you played, that you've written, that we played. You played them and then I played them. So it's like I played them. Of course, I don't play guitar. See what I mean? Never mind. I thought it was funny. Anyway, so this song is called More
Where's
Than
the cricket sound at?
I know. Nobody's laughing. Paul, you missed it last night. I divulged my idea about the little personal cloud that we need above our head. That's going to, you know how they have the cloud for like data and stuff? We need our own personal cloud. Paul's not laughing at me. It was funny to me.
I'm looking for my light bulb, but I can't find it.
Sorry, Marie said, sorry, I haven't been commenting. I was driving. He is excellent. So nice. Yes. It's our very good friend, Marie McConaughey. She has been such a huge supporter of ours. I can't even imagine.
She's the one who sent you the paintings, right?
Yes. And
yes.
Paul,
they were nice. I like the paintings.
I know. I showed Paul the pictures of your paintings, Marie. Him and his wife were like, wow. I mean, you're such amazing. She's doing so much to help us, just out of the kindness of her heart. God bless her. Man, it's and
I feel so bad because I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to contact her. I feel so bad about that.
You have been busy. Paul has been really busy, Marie. I know he has good intentions. I promise you that. Hi, Lori. Hi, Carolyn. What about nonprofit organization and your music event work together in the future? You mean future? I think that may be a good idea, Lori. Let's talk about that. I know Lori's been messaging me. And let's see what we can come up with. Maybe in the future. I talked about that a little bit today. But I don't know what all is involved, like where you could work together with a nonprofit. Is that what you're saying? I think
that's whenever you get together with. We can talk about that offline. Let's go ahead and get to this
later. Yeah, absolutely. So good idea, Lori. So let's get to this song. Tell us a little bit about this song, honey. This More Than I Deserve. I love it, by the way.
Well, I wrote this song back in 2019. It was probably 2018, 2019. And, it's a song about having big plans and being successful for a while and then hitting the wall, and climbing out of the wreckage of that and being happy with what you got. So there's an album out on YouTube and Spotify that you can hear this song on. It's called Treasure in My Hands. I did the video because back when the pandemic started, I was doing video. I wanted to do a bunch of videos to keep myself busy because we were locked down,
Yes.
And so this is kind of how I spent all my lockdown, is doing videos. And back then I didn't know the art of green screen, never heard of it.
Makes it a lot easier, don't it? Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah, we talk about that a lot because so many of our singer-songwriters that have been on the show, a lot of them started writing and started playing during the pandemic and they started doing virtual things because you had to come up with different ways. Right, Paul? We talk about that all the time. A lot of these people, they were doing the online thing and the videos and the live streams. So I think, man, I love your videos. I think you did an excellent job on them. I really do, Gary. They look good. They do look
Well,
good.
eventually they'll get better because because one of the problems I have right now is the green screen effect gets kind of flaky and you see little flashes of green off to the right hand side of it,
Yeah.
or the left hand side. I forget which side it is, but as you're looking at it, I guess it's the left hand side. But I've done some follow up and I need to improve my lighting, so I've got to buy another light unit to make that work right. And then I got to figure out how to make myself not look like a ghost when that happens. So.
Yeah, well, they have a virtual screen with this, and I've tried it, and it looks really weird. It makes me look all pixelated, and I'm like, I don't need any help looking worse.
Yeah.
All right, man, I can't wait to hear this. So, you got it, Paul? Okay.
I put a link to this.
That album out on is called Treasure in My Hands, and that's the
I put a
album
link.
It's on YouTube. I always have to search it.
Is that it right there, Paul? Paul is so awesome. So here is the YouTube link.
Yeah, that's the YouTube link to the album.
Okay, so if y'all want to write that down real quick, I'll give you a second to write it down.
Or they can click on the link over there. Just click on it.
And I actually earn royalties. I actually earn royalties when that one gets played.
Wow! So y'all go listen to it. It's a great, great song. So let's check it out. You ready? Anything else you want to add? I'm sorry.
No, you got it all, I think.
All right, More Than I Deserve, and what a great title, because that's how I feel. I always say I'm beyond blessed. That's really how I feel with all this cool stuff we're getting to do. So here we go, y'all. Get ready. Listen carefully to the lyrics of this. Oh my goodness, here we go.
After years of working long and hard, things were going like I planned. Saw my goal on the horizon. Somehow it slipped right through my hands. Left hand didn't tell my right hand what to do, and things were changing. And I looked away and somehow missed my chance. I'll have to start all over, rebuild what I can, try to learn my lessons from the past. Another trip around the sun, another day in paradise. Take it slow around the corner, see what's ahead before I bite. Caution flags around the turn, see the hazards on the road. Sometimes you can't be sure unless you try. Sometimes the hardest thing to overcome is the fear that's living deep within your mind. In this race there in the winter, at least I know it won't be me. Starting gun was sounding, well I was still asleep. Now I turn around the final curve, and I've ended up with more than I deserve. with the changes that descend with each new life. Wasn't sure I could leave them till I saw them with my eyes. My past failures sometimes haunt me, but I think I'll be alright. I've come to terms with the changes that I tried so hard to fight. Left behind the wreckage of the life I hoped to see. Now I understand there are no guarantees. In this race there is no winner. At least I know it won't be me. The starting gun was sounded while I was still asleep. Now I've come around the final curve, and I've ended up with more than I deserve.
Wow. Amazing.
So, what was that on your finger? Does that make it
know,
more
that's
metallic
cool, right,
sounding?
Paul?
It's a slide guitar. Yeah, and I'm playing it with a slide instead of with my fingers.
So
And
cool, right, Paul? I
so
knew.
it's a whole
As soon as you did
different
that,
way
I'm
of
like, Paul
playing.
was gonna.
You know, I had no idea what that was when I was a young guy, and I was watching the band at the Electric Eel, and there was a guy named John Davidson that was just phenomenal guitarist, and he played the slide a lot. And I used to watch him, and then I started trying to. Michael O'Kelly is another old friend of mine that was from Corpus Christi. Just a phenomenal guitarist. He passed away just this year. And I used to watch him play slide, and man, so I just started working on it. And,
Wow.
eventually, I got decent at it. I still know guys. There's a guy that played on one of my blues songs called "Good Intentions," and that one I actually recorded with live musicians. Billy King playing drums, and there's a guy named Cliff Houck that lives in Pennsylvania, played the slide guitar, and that guy he might be the best slide player I've ever heard. Just phenomenal. Anyway, so if you get a chance, if you hear my Troubled Ground CD, it's out on YouTube, and it's got a song called "Good Intentions," and that guy, Cliff Houck, playing slide is just something else.
And what is the name of the CD again?
Troubled Ground.
Troubled Ground. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's back when I was, mostly into blues, playing a lot of blues and rock kind of stuff.
I'm gonna have to go check that out. Man, I really love your playing and your voice and your songs. You got it all, man. Your lyrics are incredible. They really, really are. Did you take any classes for lyrics or
No, I've just been a big fan of people like Don Henley and Jackson Brown and Glenn Frey and just a lot of great songwriters that I've listened to. Really, those are the ones that I probably spent the most time thinking about when I write. What kind of stuff? Because sometimes I listen to them just for inspiration on how they approach a certain subject.
That's cool.
but
Oh,
I've never.
Carolyn froze. I think she got kicked offline.
Well, that
Can you
happens,
hear me?
Oh, yeah, looks like she's gone. It froze.
Yeah, she's gone. She's frozen like this, and I don't think she's coming back. I think her internet got either power got shut off or whatever. She's probably like, "Dang."
Well, we made it to the end, so
Yes, we
I,
did.
I'm glad of that, and thank you all of you that made it, showed up for this. And Denise, if you're still out there, I met Denise when I was 16 years old, and
Wow.
we were in high school, and it took me a while to find out where she was again, and she showed up on Facebook, and I saw her at the high school reunion a few years back.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
yeah.
And she's been following you ever since on
Oh,
your
no,
Facebook.
no, no. We kind of, before the internet, um, I lost track of a bunch of people, and
Right.
but since the great thing I've enjoyed about Facebook is I've just reconnected with all these old friends, and I really would have a hard time dealing with it if it was gone.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because when I went to because when I was in high school, I was a loner. I really didn't have that many friends, and it's funny because now I have people come, "Hey, I remember you from high school." They're talking to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." I walk away. My wife's like, "Who is that?" I said, "I have no idea." And I hate to say that, but I mean but I'm starting to get to know a lot more people now from school, and especially from
Yeah,
Facebook. I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, now I remember." I, I wasn't a people person back then. I've just recently,
I
probably in
was
the last,
I was really phenomenally shy back then,
yeah, that's
and
how I was.
I met this group of people with Denise and several other of our friends. Kind of became a group that I hung around with, and I got to know, and sort of pulled me out of my shell because being a Navy brat, I lived in I went to a different school every year until my junior year in high school, and I went to King High School in Corpus for 2 years in a row. So
Yeah, I could imagine how that life was. I was in the military. I was in the Army for 8 years, and my daughters moved around, but luckily they didn't move too much because I was in Okinawa, Japan for 3 years, and I was at Fort Hood. So, and from there I got out because of all kinds of other stuff going on. But I
well,
decided it
with
wasn't for me.
my dad being in the Navy, you have 3 years sea duty, 3 years of shore duty, and usually you get somewhere and there's no place to live, so you're in temporary housing. Then you go to a little bit better temporary housing, then you get to your naval housing. So,
Right.
and it kind of went
Yeah.
that way. So you're in one school for each of those different places.
Yeah, because Beeville
Uh,
used to be there used to be a naval air station here. I think
yeah,
it closed down.
my dad was stationed in Beeville,
Oh,
and
cool.
I used to play back in my old band, back in the 70s. I used to play Beeville CPO Club, Officer Club, and the Enlisted Men's Club, and then over
Oh,
to
wow.
Kingsville, same thing. Then in Corpus Christi, the same thing. So we had a lot of gigs with the Navy back then.
Wow, that is cool. You have a lot of history. You've been to a lot of places and done a lot of things. Well, I think we're
Always
gonna go
with a
ahead and
lot of
wrap.
cool people. So
Yeah, no, it sounds like it sounds like you have an amazing life and playing with some pretty cool people and learning some really cool things. I mean, I've actually been watching your fingers, some of the guitar stuff, and I can't wait to start getting. I want to get the electric guitar, and I want to start learning that pentatonic code because
yeah,
I've seen it, and I've seen like because I said I'm a rocker, so I've seen a lot of these rockers on there, and they're just down and they're just going at it. I'm like, oh, I want to do that so bad, but and it's so funny as you say your fingers are slow because your arthritis, but your music doesn't sound slow at all. I mean, it sounds like you're going pretty fast.
well, it's there were back when I was playing stuff like Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple. My fingers were really fast, um, and I was still pretty fast up until like 20 years ago. But the
Right.
arthritis started setting in, and got the swelling in the finger, and it wasn't until the last about 10 years ago I bought these Big Lou guitars where they have the little slightly wider neck.
Mhm.
And I love those things. And one of the videos you guys played was I was playing my Les Paul, which is something I don't do a lot of anymore because it's so heavy. And, you know,
Yeah,
but if
I could imagine. I
if
could
I'm playing
imagine having that
blues,
weight.
I love to play it because it's just the strings being close together doesn't bother me when I'm playing blues riffs, you know.
Right. No, that's
So,
cool. I saw you had that waistband and for your guitar to sit on
yeah.
it.
Well,
And it's
I
funny.
bought that strap, and that is a lifesaver. It's
Oh, I
a
bet because you're
it's
carrying
called
the
a
weight.
yeah. Puts the weight around your waist instead of around your neck,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be able to play anymore if it weren't for that strap.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw that strap. I'm like, oh, that's really cool because and it's funny because it took me right back to ZZ Top and them spinning the guitars. I'm wondering, did they have that whenever they did spin the guitars?
I don't know, but if you ever want to look at one, those straps are called Slinger, I think.
That's swingers.
Slinger, like
Oh,
sling.
slinger. Oh, okay.
Yeah, guitar slinger, you know. But so it's Slinger
Yeah,
straps.
yeah. I don't use a strap because my neck's always hurting all the time, and I'm scared to put that weight on the.
That's exactly why I got the Slinger strap, because it puts the weight on around your waist instead of on your neck.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I have to look into that next time I go to a music
Now
store. I'll look
you
ask
have
them
to
if they have.
drill a different place in your guitar to put the um, peg to put your strap onto. Because
Yeah, that's
like on
cool.
mine, the
Let's
pegs
see.
are on the top normally, because the strap you want it on the top. For the Slinger, you have to have the peg on the bottom hook on the on the neck side.
Right.
So it's a little different, and I had to have some holes drilled and stuff like that.
Oh
And
yeah, that's cool.
I
Well,
didn't have a drill bit to do it at the time, and I've got a PRS guitar that I took to some shop and told the guy what I wanted done. And I came back, and he had screwed it all up, and now I can't get it in tune anymore. So I've got to find a luthier to fix it.
nah.
And that's a great sounding guitar if you can get it in tune. But right now, that guy did something to adjust the neck that made it not be able to tune it.
Oh wow.
So,
Never heard of not being able to tune a guitar. That he must have messed something up
well,
bad.
yeah, I mean, you have to get the neck out of a line, and if you do, the top of the guitar is not in line with the bottom of the guitar, and they won't be in tune,
Huh.
of the neck.
Right. Yeah.
So,
When I bought my when I bought this acoustic guitar from this music shop, they actually went in there and they said they had to adjust the neck. There's a little screw in there or something. They had to screw it to make the neck, because I think it was like this. They had to get the neck flat
yeah.
or something or
Well, there's two ways they can get out of adjustment, and one of them is that, and another one is left to right kind of adjustment. So.
huh. Didn't know
Anyway,
that.
I don't know which one it is, but that guy screwed up something on my guitar, and I need to go to a real luthier to get it fixed. And I just haven't
Oh
done it because
wow.
it's one of those narrow neck guitars that I can't really play well anymore.
Mm.
But it sounds just badass. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, your guitar work is amazing. I just hope
I
am
appreciate
able
it.
to get to that point to where I can actually start playing the guitar myself like that.
Well, I'll
It's
give you a hint. When I was
what's
a
that?
young guy, I would, when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, I would sit in my room for hours a day and play along with records, back then. And then when I was full time, I'd do rehearsal for like 4 hours at home, and then I'd go to a rehearsal for an hour at the club, and then play for 5 hours that night. So it was a
Oh
lot of guitar playing.
wow.
Anyway, you get pretty good when you're doing that.
Oh yeah, I bet. I basically have about 30 minutes a day that I can practice, that I'll sit here and just goof around.
If you do it every day, you're gonna see progress.
Yeah, no, I've seen progress, and it's amazing. I've written a few tunes, and it's pretty cool. I just wish I could go down and actually add like more of like a lead guitarist, because you have your basic notes, and also you can add the the little little tricks to it.
I hear my wife calling me again.
Yep, let's go ahead and end this.
And I got to get though.
All right.
So-
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you, everybody, for coming on and joining us. Make sure you share out. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the show.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
All right. I'll let Carolyn know that everything's good. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right.